Hello and welcome. This is the ins and outs of Security Center 5.9 demo of Security Center and the latest things we've done in the latest version 5.9. I'm George. I'm a sales engineer in Genetec, and I'll be doing this demo for you today. And without any further ado, because we have so many things to show, let's start with the demo. Okay, most of the demo is going to be done here on this Security Desk application, which is the Windows-based client that we use to operate the software. We have a web client and a mobile client as well. If time permits, we're going to be able to show a little bit of the mobile client in the end. The web client, we're going to be touching on the main features that we added in 5.9 as we go with this. So we got here 5.9.2, which is the latest version of 5.9. It was just released. So we'll be doing this and showing the two main things that we added in 5.9.2 as well. So let's log into the application. I always like to start with this login screen because it's very small, but it has a lot to show really. First thing is this trusted directory here. So that tells me that I'm really connected to this directory server here. It's so you can protect it with a certificate. So to stop the man-in-the-middle attack, so you know that this is the server that you log into. It's the same as if you go on a browser and do here www.genetec.com. For example, you see that block here. So that proves that there's a certificate on the server, and it's a Genetec server you log into. You're not it's not somebody else trying to mimic the website and trying to steal your information. So the other thing is here our classic support for Active Directory integration, which can be used to do single sign-on using your Windows credentials. And at the same time, you can use it also for importing the credentials and the card holders. So you can use it for the user management and the card holder management at the same time. And speaking of the single sign-on, this brings us to two things we added in one thing that we added in 5.9.2, which is just released. It's our basically support for OpenID and SAML2. And that's going to allow you to really do single sign-on from multiple identity providers. We validated this already with Azure AD, with Keycloak and Ping Identity. And this list is going to grow for sure. And I have a quick video here that I can show you, which shows an example of how you use Azure AD to log in. I'm going to be using the, this video is taken from the web client. So I'm going to see how we can get in to the web client using Azure AD. Let's do here. So that's the main web client login screen here, and you can see you can sign in with Azure AD, or you can choose to sign in with the username and password, the local ones if you want. So just let this video roll. Here's just a quick video, few seconds. So there you go. You're taken to a different authentication platform, which is Azure AD in that case, and that's gonna authenticate you, and then there you go. You go into the web client, which is this is what you will see when you log into the web client. So let's log in here to Security Desk. I'm going to be logging in to with my local admin user. And first thing I'm going to see is my workspace. So this is what the task that I always work on. Got card holder management. You got a monitoring task, which is here with a few cameras and a map. So our native support for maps here allows you to. I'm going to be talking for you as if you haven't seen the platform or if you've seen a little bit of it. So for those who don't know, it's native support for maps. And it's a unified platform. By unified, we mean that you can see the intercoms, the doors, and the cameras everything from one single application. So, and you can monitor them, you can configure them. And not only this, we also have, we support definitely the license plate recognition cameras, and lots of analytics that are built in the software, privacy protection, people counting, intrusion detection, object detection, you name it. And of course, since it's unified here, you'll be able to interact with all of these devices together and use status from one device to activate something on another device. For example, if a camera is down, you can, for example, block the door, block access on a certain door, or vice versa. If there's a bad access on a certain door, display the camera. So this is how the unification works. So I'm gonna start this demo here by yeah. Before I move in to show you more stuff here, a word about the open architecture of the platform. So it's not only unified, but it's open. You see here, this door is an HID door. This one is attached to a Mercury device. This one is down, but it's attached to an access device. And for access control, yeah, we support mainly these guys and lots of other devices from Salto, ASA Abloy, SimonsVoss, Honeywell, you name it. And for the cameras, no need to talk about that. For cameras, we really support thousands of camera models. All you have to do is just go to our supported devices list, just Google it, and you'll be able to see. There are over 100 manufacturers of camera that we support, and the list keeps growing with every release. Just to show you how the unification works here in a quick demo here, I'm going to use a video because I'm not in the office anymore, and I used to use my cards and my desk camera and my readers at the desk. So let me show you how that works real quick. So that's my desk camera here. Bottom left here, there's my HID door. And I'm going to swipe this card holder, lab worker number 1, and instantly you see here on this tile number 2, which I use to monitor my my alarms. So every time I swipe a card, I'm going to see the card holder picture and the feed from the camera attached to that door, which is here, this camera. That's the other door, the Mercury one. Again, I'm going to get another feed from a different camera attached to that door. And since it's really unified, you can attach any camera feed to any door. You define the camera separately from the door, and you can attach them as you see fit here. So that's why it's a desk door. So I have it on my desk, but I can attach any security camera to it. So we've seen here how the unification works. So this feature is called swipe and show. So every time you got to swipe on any door, you're going to see directly the card holder and the feed. If you want to view the alarms, the door alarms, the old-fashioned way, we have the alarm management kind of a pane that is hidden behind the tiles. You can slide it down and you can view the alarm. So that's another card holder there, and you can see directly here access granted at the very top here. So instantly you see the alarm, it's on that door, it's from the card holder. You can also see it on the map, as you can see here. So many ways to monitor the system. From the map, you can also see it directly live or on a tile or directly here. And this list of alarms here is not just a passive list, it's interactive. So maybe you want to check if this guy, lab worker number 3, went through other doors, you can just right-click card holder activities report, and it's going to run from here. So another way of doing things. So there you go. I'm back to my main screen here. So the next thing we're going to show here is I'm going to bring back the tile to blank to allow me to monitor. And I'm going to use a scenario. For example, this card holder lost their card. So they get to the door and they have no card. So what they could do is they can ring the alarm. So ring the intercom. So there you go. When they press the button on the intercom, it's going to ring again on the same application. No need to move to different applications. It's going to be straight to this one here. You can see the feed from the camera facing that intercom or that door, basically, and you can answer the call. So this camera coming here is from the intercom itself. It was on my desk, so you can see there's that feed coming from the camera on my intercom. So you see here 2 cameras attached to that intercom. So you can switch from a security camera or from or the intercom camera. You can add as many cameras as you want to the intercom. You can add as many cameras as you want to the doors. It's really open. So here I'm going to verify the picture of the cardholder standing at the door. So I can switch to cardholder management directly without needing to open another application. It's just another task that I open. There you go. I search for the name, lab worker number 3, and I can go back there and just simply click here down there to unlock the door. So from the intercom camera or tile, I can unlock the door. You see here, door unlocked manually on the tile, and I get the feed. And the next thing, that person is going to come to your desk, and you can give them a card, a new card, or a temporary card. In this case, I'm going to set this card to a lost. So you can set it to active, lost, inactive, or stolen. So I'm going to set it to lost and save it. And as soon as I do that, that person, given the temporary card, can go into the building. But if somebody finds that card, you're going to see here what's going to happen. So somebody's found the card and swipes it, and it's going to be here. Access denied, lost credentials. Again, you can see the feed, and I get a notification by email as well because I have programmed the system to and there is an access denied on a door, and that was really like a quick of how you can streamline the operation, save time, and really work from one single application to do all the work. Let me go back here. So since we have talking about the cardholder management, I'm going to go back to it. So the cardholder management is where this is cardholder, no, this is a report. This cardholder management. So cardholder management is where you enter the cardholders, and that's the interface. Very graphical. Just hit new and enter the information here. The other way is if you import them from Active Directory. In that case, they'll be the cardholders, their information, they're going to be populated directly to you. So if you want to do it manually here, you can have a webcam, get the picture from a file as well. First name, last name, cardholder status, and you can add as many as you want from credentials. So automatic entry, manual entry, if you want to enter it by swiping on a USB reader, or manually just enter the facility code and card number. That if you have an existing credentials, if you want to have a PIN, license plate is because we're tied into license plate recognition. So what you could do here is actually put the plate number and attach it to that card holder, and every time the car goes into in the field of view of the camera, of the license plate camera, it's going to validate this and open the gate or not open the gate. We'll also support the mobile credentials and paper credentials for the visitors. So that's how you enter the basic information. You can also enter the access rules, so that card holder can go where are they allowed to go and stuff like that, and the card holder groups that they belong to, and a lot of custom fields. All of these fields here mainly are custom fields. So title is a custom field, employee number is a custom field. So when you install the software, you're not going to see those by default, but you can enter those fields to customize your experience of that cardholder management tool. So all of these are custom fields. And let me show you one more thing here, which is under the advanced, which is the security clearance. Security clearance by default is set to 7 and is the lowest level. By default, they're all set to 7, which is the lowest, but you can set this to higher levels. And the reason why we have this entry here is to control the access in a lockdown scenario. So let me take the lab workers here. So these are my lab workers. I got this lab worker here, and he has a security clearance of 1, which is one of the highest levels. If you check the other ones here, like lab worker number 2, 7, lab worker number 3 also has a 7, and also got lab worker number 4. So if I want to do a lockdown, all I can do is just tell the system that in a certain situation, trigger a threat level. And that threat level is going to include multiple actions to perform automatically. So threat levels is just a series of actions that you want to program the system to execute automatically when it is triggered. And you can trigger it by a panic button. You can trigger it manually directly from the application. And that's going to execute everything that you told it to do. So you can include, for example, raising the security clearance to 1 for everybody. So only the ones with level 1 will be able to get in. Lab workers number 2, 3, 4, for example, they'll be denied access because they are at 7. You can send emails. You can start recording on the cameras at a higher resolution. You can load multiple certain cameras of interest to the screen. So that's how threat levels works. And I'm going to show you that actually here. So let me show you a lockdown when choosing threat levels. So let's do that. So there you go. I'm going to trigger it using that button here. So I have a panic button set up. So pressed it, it turns red, the application turns red, and it loaded the same camera 4 times, which is what I told it to do. Usually you would load the cameras of interest, but for example here, I just loaded the same camera and it overwritten all the cameras that were present. Now I'm going to try to log in with lab worker number 1. That guy has a level 1, so they can get in, but everybody else, they will be denied access, as you can see here. Lab worker number 4 denied, and lab worker number 2, same thing, denied. And I'm getting the email notifications here every time I get access denied on that door. So I'm going back now to normal. So the red color disappeared, which means that the threat levels is ended, and I should be returning to normal. And now all my cardholders can get in. So lockdown state has been lifted. And that was an example of how you automate things, and also you do a lockdown on the system. All right. Back to the cardholder management. So I showed you here these custom fields that you can add as you wish and based on what you want. So something that we added in 5.9 is that we moved this to we support now the custom fields in the web client. So let me show you here. I'm going to log in with my to my web client with the same user. So this is the web client, and I'm going to go to access configuration and card orders. And if I search here for lab workers, so that's lab worker number 1. And you can see all of these custom fields here: building, campus, contractor, company, department, and title. So these weren't available before 5.9, but now they're available, and which makes the web client a more interesting application. And let's just try here, for example, to say here campus 1, 2, 3, or whatever, ABC, where, and I'm going to save it. Save. And if I go back to my here and open it, I'm going to see here ABC OER. So the way I added it. So now possible to do this from the web application. And since we are in the web client, let me show you a couple of things we have done in 5.9 as well. So in 5.9.1, we added the support for the readers in the shunting the reader in the web client. So let me load one of my cameras, one of my doors in here, like this door. So that's the door here. You can see there's the reader, and if you click on it, you can shunt the reader. This was a feature that is only part of the desk application here. So if you load the door on a tile like that, you got the controls here. So this is the shunt reader control, which was only available here, but now it's available also on the web client. So you can shunt the reader. Another thing, since we are in the web client, that we added in 5.9.1 as well, is that this application now can be manipulated using the keyboard. It was only a mouse, just mouse and touch before, but now you can also manipulate it for using the keyboard, using the tab mainly, and tab and enter. This is to be compliant with WCAG. So let me load here one of my cameras, for example, and show you how that works real quick. So let's take this PTZ camera, for example, here. And if you do tab, so I'm now doing tabs here, and you can see that it's moving shift tab here. So I'm now at the here at this area. If I do shift tab, it's going to go back to here, which allows you to start recording. So if I hit enter, it started recording. If I hit enter again, it's going to stop. Actually, let me go back here and shift tab and then hit enter. And now it's going to stop recording. So just hit another tab here and you get to the PTZ control, hit enter, and that's going to open the control. And then if you keep entering tabs here, you're going to be able to move the camera. So enter, that's going to take it to the left. And if I hit more tabs here, I'm going to get to the zoom. So enter plus, and you can zoom in. That's the maximum. So tab here, enter, and that's going to zoom out. So this is just to show you that small feature that we added to the web client. All right, let's get back to the security desk application here. And one of the things that I always like to show is the it's on the video side on how to find information. And we got all these icons here that you use to allow you to really search. Let me make this because the tools from GoToMeeting are actually standing in the way. Let me check here. All right, so that's good enough. All right, so my favorite feature is the quick search. So usually, let's take, for example, this camera, which is a security camera in Genetec, and it's live here. So let's just give it a second to load, and that's it here. So this camera is streaming live here, and you can see it's recording continuously. So there's a timeline which allows you to move the cursor back. And if you know like the hour of when that video happened, you can simply just move it back to 6 a.m. in the morning directly here by just moving the cursor. But if you don't know the time and you want to know, for example, this car here, when did this car arrive? This car here, the one with the black ceiling here, with the black roof, you can just hit quick search and then circle that car and then hit start. And that's going to show you snapshots from various hours. And looks like it was here before 8:23. So let's go back a little bit. And I'm going to show you how with a few clicks you'll be able to get it. So now we know it's between 7 and 8:30. Just do a few more clicks here and you'll be able to get to the right moment when. So it should be here. So now we went down to the minute level. It should be probably here. So I'm getting some, there we go. So between 7:28 and 7:31, you can drill down or just simply hit play and maybe just accelerate this by pressing the fast forward to 4 times, 6 times. And now just to skip a little bit of minutes quickly, and then you'll get to the moment when the car arrived. So really a neat feature, and it allows you to really get quickly to the video where that you need, and eventually be able to export it. Just give it a second here to get there. There you go. So there you go. We got to the minute when the car arrived, and you can simply just track people. For example, if that person did something here, you can even just do here visual tracking. So that button is going to take me to the first floor. This one to the second floor. and I'll be able to track that person. Here by clicking, I'll be entering to the building. All right, so the reason we do all these searches to really be able to export the video, and to export the video, very easy, just hit the export button. So for example, let's take this this here and hit export, and you're going to burn it to a DVD. The other way of doing things is we have our evidence management platform called Clearance. It's a hosted platform, so you can either do the export, the regular one, or right-click and send to Clearance. Sending to Clearance allow you to create a case or join that or upload that video to existing case, which is already open on that platform. And the video is going to be uploaded in encrypted way. And there, instead of burning it on DVD, you can send email invitations to anyone who needs to see them. You can give them the right to just view or edit, redact, or add their own videos, or maybe delete videos or something. So that's the other way of doing things, and it's very popular. It's becoming very popular. So after showing you that, I'm gonna show you a few things that we've done in 5.9, and mainly things that we've done on the Vault. So what happens if I export a video? Let me export this video here. Let me export just a minute of that video. Let me call it here demo 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to make it shorter, just a minute of video or less. There you go, 1 minute, 5 seconds, and hit export. And when you export the video, it's going to go to the Vault. So you can either wait for it and then open the Vault directly from here, or go to Security Desk and hit Vault and find it. So there you go, my video, demo 1, 2, 3 is here. And so everything is being loaded into that Vault folder, which you could choose to be on your disk or on a shared folder. It's up to you. So with time here, this folder gets really crowded, and probably you don't want to keep it growing. So what we added in 5.9 here, if I go to the video, you see here the Vault location is the Vault, so I chose this folder to be. And we added this, so automatically enough. So now you can really set like a retention period on the Vault folder. So after a certain time, after 30 days later, for example, you want to have all the videos deleted. So this is something that we added into in the system in 5.9.1. Let me show you something else here that we also did. Let me go to the Vault for that. So starting in 5.9, we changed what we used to call the watermarking. So it used to be called the watermarking, and the watermarking is the fact that we add a digital signature to every frame, every video frame that we write to the disk, and the goal is to make that video authentic. So if we check that video for you and we found that there's a problem with that with that digital signature, that video is not going to be, there must have been like somebody who tampered with that video. So we used to call it tampering, watermarking, but now we call it digital signature. So there you go, this is video. The video that I have exported actually has a digital signature on it, and I can go and verify it. So there you go, signed and authenticated. So that's how we call it right now, as digital signature. So, but what happened to the watermarking? The watermarking is still being used, but it's now doing a different thing. So we added the watermarking to the user management. So user management allows you now to basically enable video watermarking for certain users. So for example, this user here is user 1. It has video watermarking enabled. What that means is that we're going to add some kind of a stamp on the video on the view, and that stamp is going to go with the video if it gets exported, so you know where it is, where it originated from, and so this kind of deters users from leaking videos. So on the configuration here, you can see there's username. You can put the workstation name. You can put the camera name. You can just put the username. Let's just keep the camera name and the user. You can choose to have a single instance of that watermarking or a mosaic of it, horizontal or diagonal, like that. And you can choose the opacity, so of the font, of the overlay actually, and the size. So the size of the watermarking. So let's keep it that way here, and I'm gonna be logging on with that other user and show you something else at the same time. So you see here this admin user with all the cameras and doors available to them and everything. But now as we log in with the user 1, which is a restricted user, you're gonna see a less, really less cameras, less doors, based on what they have been given to see and view. So this is the password for that user 1. So you can see here few cameras available for that user. And let's bring this camera here to the view, and you can see the watermarking here on the screen. And so they try to export the video, it's going to go with them. That's one thing here. Let me try to export here and tell you and show you something that we added also in 5.9. So if I try to export this video, even though it's watermarked, but let's say if I try to export that video, let me call it here user 1 demo, and then enter its description. So if I do export, the system's going to ask me to somebody else. So it's going to tell me that this user is not allowed to export the video by themselves. They need the approval of somebody else. So this is, we added this as a privilege, as a permission that needs to be granted to users, or basically taken out of the user. It's called single user user export. So by default, if users don't have it, they can export the video directly. If they don't have it, then they will need somebody to basically allow them to do that. So I need to enter my admin credentials, and then I can export. So it's something that we added in 5.9.1. And there we go. So the other way of still exporting here, because I didn't make it shorter. Anyway, let's give it a second and log out. So I'm going to get back to the admin user here. And since we're talking about exporting and reviewing the videos and stuff, we added something in 5.9.1 on the archives report. So the archives report is actually is a report that you want to use to check if certain cameras have recordings or what. So if you, for example, check all these cameras here, all my cameras, and then want to check their videos for the past week. So all the recordings that they have done during the past week here, and if I generate this report, so there you go. I got this list here. Usually all the reports will have this filters to the left side, this middle pane here that shows you the results, and the tiles. So the tiles usually are used to drag something from the pane here, and it's going to show you the video if it has videos on it. So usually there's a tile view that mimics the, so you can change the tile here, and there you go. So what we changed in 5.9 was that this there was this preview here of the timeline for the recording. So this is for 1 week, so to show you like a span of a week of recording, how it was. Whatever is white is recording, whatever is black then is no recording. So if a camera is recording on motion, for example, you would see it here, recording, and then blank, and then black, and then recording, white and black. So whenever it's not recording, it's black, it's recording, it's white. The greens are for the motion activity. So before that, before 5.9.1, we didn't have any scale on that preview here of the timeline. So we don't know really when this got a video here, when it happened. But now we know. If you just hover the mouse, it's going to take you there. And at least you know that this is June 15, this is June 13. So it's now more useful if you want to report this and send that report. All right. So since we're talking about reporting, let's show you a different kind of reports which are for access control. So this is a video report that shows you the camera recording. But if you go and check, for example, the card holder activities report, which is this report here. So cardholder activities report is again run from the same application. Again, I'm always in security desk. I'm not leaving that application. I'm running all the reports. I'm doing video, access control, cardholder management, everything from that application. So again, you see here, this is the video report, and this is an access control report. Same look and feel, nothing changed. You define who you want to check. So the lab workers group, and I want to check all their activities for the past 5 months. And you can maybe, if you want to check just if they did some access denied events or something, you can select them from here. So let's run the whole report for all their activities for the past 5 months and do generate report. So there you go. I got my report, and I'm now switched to the charts report, but I always have the tiles report. So the tiles report is very important, because if you see here access granted and maybe you want to check that video, all you have to do is just simply drag the entry, and you will see the video here. Double click to get a wider view, and again, the consistency in the user interface. You can export the video, do quick search, visual tracking. Everything is done. Again, everything that you do from the monitoring screen or task can be done from the reports. So, but this visual charts here is very also easy. It's just one click, and it's going to give you an insight of all the information in that report. There's 680 items in that report here, so probably looking at it without this chart is going to be very really meaningless. But with one click, you can get a report, and that's going to show you, for example, by default here, it showed me the usage by each of the group members. So looks like lab worker number 1 has the majority of events. So you can change to something else like by events, or you can do events instead of just this. So change to event, and now you can tell here access denied 10%, for example. If this is an alarming thing here, then maybe you want to drill down on that. What we did, it's a minor change in 5.9, is if you're on the columns here and you want to, for example, you don't know what's the value here, so we added the grids and the values, and now we can see here. So this is 30, 12, and 8. And the one thing about those reports, whether they are video, access control, or anything, you can push them to the dashboard. So here, directly at the dashboard. What that's going to do is going to send it to the dashboard. Let me show you my dashboard, for example. So this is my dashboard. I created it from scratch. The dashboard is a free workspace that starts blank, and then you start populating it with maps, with cameras, with pictures, with a website, and with reports that refresh. For example, that tour activities report has been pushed to that dashboard. And if you edit the dashboard here, you can see that this guy is refreshing every minute. So every minute, these values are going to change based on more events that are happening and stuff like that. So this is the beauty of the dashboards. Really allows you to customize your workspace and put the things that matter to you, including charts, including cameras, anything that you have on the system, including also health reports. So maybe you want to check the cameras down and stuff. There's also like a health dashboard that is already there, that is ready for you, so you can load it with one click here, and that's going to show you everything here that's happening on the system, who's connected, health systems, for example, error. If you click on that here and show you here the errors details, and that's going to show you the errors. For example, what are these errors that are shown on the map? Let's get back to the summary. So this was a bit about dashboards, which we continue to improve. It's a feature of 5.8. And let me move to something else that we did in 5.9, which is since we are talking about errors and stuff like that. So a very important thing that we added in 5.9 is the possibility to change the passwords on the camera. And so Before that, it wasn't a possible thing. We used to do it from the camera interface, but now you can do it. And the best way to do it here, I'm gonna show you that from the config tool, from the hardware inventory report. So if so I'm checking these cameras here, these are my cameras under the report, under the camera inventory, hardware inventory report. And you can see here, I got we used to show that the password is weak and stuff like that. So for example, I got these two cameras here, both access cameras, and they have weak passwords. The thing is, we can see them now from this report. So if you click here, oh, that's a password, a very, very weak password here, password 123. And this other one is password 123. So what we could do now is we can simply change those password directly from here. So select them both and update the password. And hit to close. What's going to happen is that these cameras are going to briefly go down for a second while we do that. Don't know if we can see it. They're actually now back, I think. So if I go back here and simply run that report once again to refresh, there you go, very strong. Let's see here. Look at that password. So you can schedule that to happen periodically, for example, once a month, once a year, 6 months. You name it. You can do it with an event to action. So maybe you want to, based on something, anything happen on the system, maybe camera down or door forced open or something, you can just event to action, update the password on all cameras or any camera. And one good thing about it is that you can export the passwords. So you can hit exports, and that's gonna show you, so if you want to keep a record of those passwords in an Excel file, you can simply export that thing, and it's going to go into an Excel file. So this one was a very good thing that we added in 5.9.1. And since we are in a config tool, let me show you something else that we've done also in 5.9.1, which is the privileged troubleshooter. There was a feature of 5.8, I think. So the privileged troubleshooter is a quick view that allows you to, for example, if you want to check who has, for example, a certain privilege, like for example, this new feature, this new single user export, for example, this guy here. So if you want to check who has it, then that's going to give you all the users and on the groups who has that right. Or if you want to check, for example, who has access to a certain camera, let's do the Q35. So if you want to check who has access to this camera, there you go. In one click, you've got all the groups and people who has access to it. So before 5.9.1, this was just a view, but now you can export that result, which is a great feature here. So you can export that in Excel, CSV, or PDF. And let me move to something. Since we are in the config tool, let's finish that part. So part of the mobile credentials, which we have seen here in credential management, in cardholder management. Just give it a second to load here. So we've seen that, for example, lab worker number 3, you can give them a mobile credential. So the mobile credentials management here, we started supporting Origo, which is the latest from HID. So they had the legacy mobile credentials, which we still support, but they moved now to Origo. And if you go to the general settings here and you try to add a mobile credentials, and you see here we got the Origo, which was added in 5.9. So let's move to something else. Back to our security desk application, where the users spend most of their times. And we got so many things that we did in the maps. So you see the maps here on my top left corner, and this is a geographical map. So we did a lot of changes, and let me show you here. So let me start by doing some alarms here. So I programmed my systems that every time I add a bookmark to this camera to trigger an alarm. So this is one of the most simple way. It's not a threat levels, but it's the most simple way. So one thing happen, do something. In that case, I'm going to add a bookmark. So if I click add a bookmark, and then 1, 2, 3, can you see here an alarm popping up? So there you go. I got my alarms, and you can see them on the map as well. So that's one alarm. I can do another one here. Let me do another alarm. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm adding a tag, a text tag to the timeline here. You can view it and you can see who did it. So usually this is used to add information about something happening on the video to give more information or maybe to tag something as important. So I added these 2 bookmarks, and each time I add a bookmark, I told the system to basically trigger an alarm. And so there you go, I have 2 alarms here. So what we did in 5.9 is that if I zoom out of the map here, I used to see only, let me take this away here, or basically, yeah, there you go. So I used to see only the clustered entities. So this tells me that 10 plus, there are 10 cameras, doors, license plate recognition cameras, inputs and outputs. There are more than 10 in this area, but there was no indication to tell me how many alarms are active. So now we can see it here. There are 2 alarms are active. So you can zoom in and go and deal with that. So this is something that we added in 5.9. We also added something which is, let me show you here, which is the reader. So we used to show the door, but now we can show the reader as well on the map. So that's the reader for that door. And of course, you can shunt it from here. So click shunt, and that's going to go here in warning state, and the sky is went red. Let's activate it again, and that's going to go back. So this is something that we added. So now you have not just the door, but the reader next to it on the map if you wish. And the other thing that we added in 5.9.1 is, let me show you. So we have this link which takes you to the 2nd floor. So this link is on a geographical map. It takes me to the 2nd floor directly if I hit here. But once I'm there, I can also program the system to actually to tell them which floor is which and which number. And I have this icon here that allows me to toggle from one floor to another. So this takes me to the ground floor, 2nd floor, 3rd floor without having to do links like I had on the other one. So this is a new thing here as well. And one last thing here on the map, which was just added in 5.9.2, is the possibility to actually import entities from AutoCAD. So if you have an AutoCAD drawings and it has those blocks, it's called the AutoCAD blocks. And so you have already your cameras, your doors, they're already drawn on a drawing and their locations and the readers and maybe the inputs and outputs. So instead of really doing them again here on the map and guessing where the location of each one, you can import them directly from an AutoCAD drawing. I have a quick video that I can show you actually here. Let me take you there. So this is the video. Let me show you that. So I'm going to create a map here, and it's recorded. So there you go, my DWG drawing, AutoCAD. So first thing, you're going to get the layers, which is not what we added. Layers is something old. This one is what we added here. So by default, it detected all the blocks that were defined on a system, but maybe you don't want them all. Maybe some mechanical part, probably some mechanical blocks, some furniture maybe that you don't want to add into a security map. So what we'll do probably here, just select them all and delete them, and then add just the ones that you need. So in that case, I'm going to add the doors and the readers. As you can see here, the doors, I'm going to check which block is that from the available blocks, and that's it. Once you do that here, just hit synchronize, and that's going to get you all the doors. And just do the readers. Again, same thing. Just define which block are the readers, and synchronize, and that's it. When you hit synchronize, you're going to get all the readers and the doors. So how that shows on the map, next, create, and there you go. You can see here, the doors and the readers are all imported straight away. If it's a large really map, then it's really, it means it's very important. All right, so let's move to something here. We did a lot of improvements on the alarms in 5.9, and let me show you what we did actually. So the first thing here, I got already two alarms pending here. So the 241 is the oldest, 242 is the newest, and as you can see here, So it's showing the oldest here. So this is 241 and this is 242. So it's showing the oldest first. This was usually by default, it used to show the most recent, not the oldest. So some people have a different preference. So they want to see the oldest first. Some they want to see the most recent first. So we added this toggle here under the alarms options in Security Desk. Just change the ordering, and that's gonna reverse the order. So if you go back to alarm monitoring, now we're showing the most recent first. This is very important because as these alarms really stack, then they're going to be a lot of alarms, and they probably want to go to the oldest or to the recent. So you can. This has always been a request. The other thing that we added here is that we added a counter to the dashboard. So you see here, I got my alarm counter. It's showing 2. But if I let me trigger more alarms here. If I go to my config tool and trigger them manually, so let's do a George 1 here and trigger. I think it allows me 1 second between each trigger. Let me do another one here. So trigger, let me check here. So I got already 8 alarms. And you see here the colors change into red. That's because I programmed the system to basically change color. So if it's more than 6, turn red. If it's between 3 and 4, this color here. And then if it's below 3, then or 3, then green. It's very useful if you want to really keep an eye on something, and then that's gonna show in red, and so you got to do something about it. And the other thing here that we added in 5.9.1 is the maintenance mode for alarms. So I got already 8 alarms, right? As you can see them here, 8 alarms. And if you know here, I've showed you that before. So every time I add a bookmark to this camera, so I got 8 alarms here. I'm going to add another bookmark, and that's going to be 9, right? So there you go. It's going to turn to 9. So I got 9 alarms at the moment. There you go, 9 alarms. But if I want to do something in the meantime, and in the meantime I don't receive any alarms during that time, I can simply just set those alarms to maintenance mode. So right click and go to maintenance here. Just turn it on and then save. And now my alarms are in maintenance mode. So if I go to my camera, so I'm now at 9 alarms. You see it there, 9 alarms, top right corner. If I just add a bookmark here and then hit OK, no alarms is coming. See here, it's still at 9. So during the maintenance, no event to action can trigger that alarm. The source actually is going to be, so if I just put them back to maintenance mode, to regular mode, let's turn off, and then save, alarms are back. And if I do another bookmark here, now it's going to move to 10. There you go, 10 alarms. So this maintenance mode was a long time request. And talking about maintenance mode, we also added something in 5.9.1, which is the possibility to add to actually set maintenance mode onto multiple doors. Before that, it used to be one by one, so one door by one door. So now we can go under area view and then just simply select these 2 doors here, this and this. Sorry, this door and this door, and right click and maintenance and unlock for maintenance. So you can do that on multiple doors at the same time, multiple selections. So that's this covers really pretty much most of the thing that we have done in 5.9. I got some 5 minutes left, so let me show you a quick demo of the mobile app. I got it also recorded because I'm not in the office and this system works on VPN and I can't get to the phone using the VPN. So let me show you that. It's really it's like real. You're gonna like it. Let me show you that. It's here. So that's my phone over there loading. Just setting the focus to be close, and there you go. You can see here the same area view on the phone as the area view you see here with all the intercoms and the lab area, the sandbox area, everything here. So that's the door area here, and there's the lab door number 1, lab door number 2. Same there. The one that is down is not showing. So if you tap on any of the doors, You can get the feed to the phone. So very useful if you're on the go, somebody's stuck or something, you can just tap, unlock, and then it's going to open the door for them. So you see here the event on tile number 2 with the feed, and on the map, door manually unlocked because it's an alarm. So from the phone, you're actually enabling all this. And the cameras, if you want to view them, you have all the controls. You can put a bookmark, you can rewind, you can, if it's a PTZ, you can move it around. And there you can also set the threat level. So I'm going to do the threat level now. So if you, there you go, it turns red. And now if I try with my card holders, like I did when I enabled it using the button, if you try now with the lab worker number 1, he's going to be able to get in, but the other guys will be denied during that time. There you go, access denied. You can set it to normal from the phone. In this case, I set it from the application. But yeah, but you can do it from the phone. You can get back to normal from the phone, but just resetting the threat levels. So from the phone as well, you can do a roll of things. There are some few reports that you can run: camera events report and plates report for the auto view, the license plate recognition. And you got the hot actions as well. And you can also view the maps. So the map that I showed you, you can view it from the phone, and you can just enlarge the view and tap on the cameras and view the feed. You see that icon there showing admin with that funny looking person there. So that's actually the admin user, and you can see it on the map. It's actually, if location services are turned on, you can see it on the map. So this is the exact location of that user. Back then I was sitting in the Genentech building, which is where I'm pointing on the map. So that's the location of the phone. So if I move around with the phone, if I go to the building, you're going to see that icon going away and then going back. So it helps you localize the users. Where are they on the field? And you can talk to them. So there you go. I'm sending a message. It gets to the phone. You can open it from the phone and you can reply back. And that's going to go back to my desk application. So hey, press send. It goes back to my desk application. So very easy to interact with the people on the field. You can even, the people on the desk here, like this guy, can share. You can see the share button there, here. So I can share this view with the people on the field. I can send it to them. So click send on the admin user, and that's gonna send a message with the link to the camera. So if I open that message here on the phone, you're gonna see and play and hit play there. That's going to send me a live view of the camera, which is what I share. You can also do the other way around. So if you want, if somebody needs to share something with their phone, they can simply hit the streaming. So hit stream on the phone. There you go, down there. On the lower left corner on the phone, just hit stream and hit the other button, and that's going to start streaming from the phone back to the desk application. And that's going to create the camera for you. No need to worry about that part. So it's going to create the camera automatically. Of course, you need a license for it. So it's going to create a camera on a free license. And there you go. You can play that camera. And that's going to show you what you are viewing with your phone camera. There you go. I can hit stop, and then it's going to stop after. There you go. There's also the hot actions. So the hot actions is really a good thing because you can automate a lot of things from the phone. So for example, you can set a hot action to email a report, and it could be any report. So as soon as you hit that button, that report is going to be emailed to you. And that's pretty much it. Yep, that covers everything I wanted to show you today. I hope you found this very informative to you. But if you have any questions or any feedback or anything, please feel free to reach out to us. Channel sales@genentech.com or salesengineering@genentech.com. And have a good day. Thank you.